For workshop 3, we're going to focus on Mendeley for its alternative indicators. The alternative indicator is Mendeley reader counts. We're going to first gather Mendeley reader counts, and then we're going to calculate MNLCS and EMNPC for Mendeley reader counts. This covers steps 3 and 4 of the processing stages. Submit queries to, in this case, Mendeley through its API in Webometric Analyst, and then 4, calculate the indicator values with Webometric Analyst reports. First of all, we want to obtain the Mendeley reader counts, and for this we start Webometric Analyst and click the Mendeley tab. But first you have to join Mendeley. You're going to need to be a member of Mendeley, which is free to join before you start this. You'll need a username and a password in order to make this part work. The input can be any plain text file of publication information, the Web of Science, Scopus, Dimensions, or your own format, plain text format. And the output will be a file with reader counts, occupations of readers, fields of readers, and countries of readers. Many columns of data for each publication. How does this work? In the Mendeley tab in Webometric Analyst, first tick repeat for all files in the same folder if you have more than one file to process, and then click search for publications in the Mendeley tab and select one of the files, and then you'll be taken to a series of dialog boxes before Webometric Analyst starts to gather Mendeley reader counts. So the dialog boxes ask you to log into Mendeley and pass a code back to Webometric Analyst for permission to search. And this is through a URL, so it gives you a URL to copy. When you've done this, you'll find that the file containing your original 4 files has been dramatically expanded with an additional 5 files for each of your original 1 file. So where there were 4 files, you should now find 24 files. Of all the new files created, the ones ending in _total85 are the ones that we're actually going to use for the next stage of the calculations. These contain the number of Mendeley readers for each article in the original file. So you should have 4 total85 files, 1 for each of the original files. The next stage is to calculate the indicators from the Mendeley data. Oh, by the way, the Mendeley downloading stage might take about 5 or 10 minutes while Webometric Analyst gets the information from Mendeley. It can get about 1 record per second from Mendeley. For the reports, we need to start Webometric Analyst again, and from the reports menu we select calculate MNLCS and EMNPC for Mendeley API results files, 1 or more files structured file names, similar to before but the Mendeley version, and select the folder containing the files again. So it's this option highlighted, and we select the folder containing all the files, the 24 files that we have. So we're selecting the option structured file names to get the normalized Mendeley reader statistics. If you want separate scores for each file, then you choose the option above. The option below. The separate one. Here's an example of the results from the file.
What's up services part?
Highlighted here, you can see the MNLCS value for 1 set. This is Biochemistry, Molecular Biology, Alcohol 2012, and these are for the Mendeley reader counts. It looks exactly as before, exactly as for the citation counts, but these are the Mendeley reader count numbers. But again, the score for Spain, the MNLCS score, is above the world average, but not statistically significantly above the world average, because the confidence interval contains 1, the world average. And again, the world file gives the world average of 1, as always, and a confidence interval around it. We never need this file, but I'm just showing you a comparison. And at the bottom of the file, you get the MNLCS overall for all the Spanish files, 2 in this case, the chemistry and the biochemistry, molecular biology combined, and we get an overall MNLCS for Mendeley and a 95 confidence interval. And in this case, for Mendeley readers, Spain is slightly below the world average, but it's not statistically significantly below, because the 95% confidence interval contains 1. And we can do the same for EMNPC. We can see that the Spanish EMNPC for Mendeley readers is below the world average, but not statistically significantly below, for this one set, the Biochemistry Molecular Biology 2012. And same for the world. And we can see the overall score for Spain, the NPC or EMNPC, is below 1, so below the world average, but the confidence interval includes 1. So less Spanish papers are read than the world average, but not statistically significantly less. Because it's Mendeley, we should use the MNLCS and not the EMNPC or the NPC, because most of the scores are non-zero, so the MNLCS is more appropriate. So this workshop has shown how to gather Mendeley reader counts for sets of articles with Webometric Analyst, and then calculating the world field and year average, of which the MNLCS is the most appropriate for Mendeley. But we've also seen how to calculate the EMNPC or NPC for Mendeley as well, even though we wouldn't normally use that for Mendeley. So have a go at this now and try and get your own Mendeley statistics for your files.